Coming up on CPTV, Crown Point is starting to feel the effects of Senate-enrolled Act 1, and the boys and girls basketball teams face Chesterton in a big mid-season DAC back-to-back. CPTV is up next. Hi, I'm Ariana Pantoja.
And I'm Rana Stevens.
Welcome to CPTV. Later on in the show, Bella Angarone will have your 5-day weather forecast, and Gabe Trevino will bring us CP sports highlights.
Here's what's happening in and around Crown Point. The Crown Point Community School Corporation is facing some major budget issues with the impact of Senate Bill 1, now known as Senate Enrolled Act 1. Ariana visited the CPCSC Administration Center to find out what we may expect in the next several years.
Last May, the CPCSC community passed the renewal of a referendum, important tax funding that contributes to the corporation's operating funds. These funds include financing all programming from when students enter the school building and continue until they leave. At roughly the same time the referendum was passed, Indiana lawmakers enacted Senate Bill 1, a bill which followed through on Governor Mike Braun's campaign promised to reduce assessed property values of Indiana homes. As a result, the money previously budgeted from the referendum was significantly reduced since referendums are based on assessed property values. Ultimately, what is the cost of this bill on CP schools?
Senate Enrolled Act 1 increases our loss in circuit breakers. So we are going to lose an additional up to $2 million in this calendar year, 2026. That's expected to continue up until 2031, when the full impact of Senate Enrolled Act 1 takes place. It's a staggered bill which decreases the assessed value of properties throughout the corporation from 2026 through 2031.
86% of education, referendum, and operation funds are spent on staff and benefits. Even with cuts from supplies, technology, and other programming, CPCSC will most likely have to find a way to cut spending through staff to cover the more than $2 million deficit each year. Small cuts in paraprofessional staff at CPHS were made at the start of this semester. CPHS students are wondering what lies ahead for the 2026-2027 school year.
I currently haven't experienced anything that's harmed me to date. However, I like to think that with $2 million a year being cut in budgeting, negative effects probably will come out towards the corporation in some way, shape, or manner.
I feel like our pathways at Crown Point are something that we're known for, and I'm worried that this bill might take away some of those courses that maybe don't have that many kids in them, and I don't want that to happen because, you know, so many people rely on those courses to kind of find out what they want to do and what they want to do as a profession. Like for me, I took AP Art History to kind of see how that was, and there were 9 people in my class. So like, I learned a lot, but you know, when it comes time to maybe see what classes need to be cut, that class might be cut in favor of like a 2D art course.
CPHS teacher and teacher union representative Dave Hoffman has similar concerns.
For teachers, I believe with the enrollment of Senate Bill 1 is how much it's going to impact the classroom. Are they going to be able to operate their day-to-day classroom objectives?
Another secondary referendum is now being considered for this fall as corporation studies continue to assess the impact of Senate Bill 1. Reductions for the 2026-2027 school year are at this time not yet determined. Outside the CPCSC Administration Center, I'm Ariana Pantoja for CPTV News.
Recent rumors swirling on social media regarding U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents coming to Northwest Indiana have many residents concerned over what effects this may have on our communities. CPTV's Jayla Miller spoke with students and attended a recent town council meeting in nearby Merrillville to learn if the concerns may be warranted.
Numerous CPHS students are feeling uneasy after rumors spread online about Immigration and Customs Enforcement possibly coming to Northwest Indiana and maintaining a detention center here at this warehouse closely adjacent to South Lake Mall. Social media posts and group chats have sparked fear and confusion, especially among Latino students and their families, even though local leaders stress that there's been no confirmed ICE activity at Crown Point at this time.
It does make me fearful that some of my friends that are Hispanic could be taken away at any moment. That's so terrifying.
There are some times where like in classrooms, like I'll kind of think of like, oh, what if like ICE comes like and like racially profiles me into thinking that I'm not a U.S. citizen.
Last fall, a large-scale ICE enforcement action referred to as Operation Midway Blitz targeted undocumented immigrants on highways throughout Chicago's South Side, where 223 immigrants were arrested as a result. Concerns continued here at the Merrillville Municipal Complex, where on Monday evening, the town council held a public hearing opposing the operation of an ICE detention here in Merrillville. Many Merrillville residents and people from neighboring towns came out with Keep ICE Out signs and prepared speeches to urge the council to vote in opposition to the detention center and keep ICE out of NWI.
They become known as a prison community. That would be terrible, I think, for Merrillville. It would be terrible for other towns around here as well.
Officials say they realize they have no jurisdiction over federal decision making and voted as a show of community dissent.
We were all unanimous from the very beginning in not passing, allowing ICE to come to the town within the law. So this is the first step, passing the resolution. The next step is really depends on what the federal government does.
For many students and families across Lake County, the concern has become less about politics and more about feeling safe in their community. From the Merrillville Municipal Complex, I'm Jaylee Miller.
State lawmakers are considering yet another school cell phone ban, with some lawmakers saying this ban would be one of the strictest in the nation. If passed, Senate Bill 78 would prohibit students from using cell phones not only in classrooms, but also in hallways, lunchrooms, and study halls throughout the entire school day. Supporters of the bill argue the measure would reduce distractions and help students stay focused on learning. However, concerns are being raised about how quickly the legislation is advancing. State Senator Rodney Pohl, who represents portions of LaPorte and Porter counties, says the bill is moving too fast and raises questions about how schools would realistically enforce the policy, as well as how it could impact students and staff across the state.
We didn't give the school districts a long enough period of time to kind of work out the bugs in their own districts before telling them, okay, well, never mind, you guys are going to have to go even further than what we've already required.
At Valparaiso University, students in the College of Nursing and Health Professions are swapping clipboards for controllers while using immersive virtual reality to simulate high-pressure medical situations before they ever enter a hospital room. CPTV's Josie Mikrit toured the lab where tomorrow's healthcare professionals are utilizing this technology to experience high-pressure medical situations in the classroom.
Thanks to cutting-edge software, future healthcare professionals studying at Valparaiso University are experiencing simulated scenarios and exploring the mechanics of the human body in ways that would be impossible to replicate in the real world, thanks to a partnership with a virtual reality medical training company, SimX.
In 2023, faculty members from Valparaiso University attended the International Nursing Association for Clinical Simulation Conference. There, they explored a range of virtual reality demonstrations and ultimately chose to partner with SimX, a leading VR simulation provider. This cutting-edge technology is now enhancing the education of more than 150 nursing and physician assistant students at the university. The VR simulations are designed to mirror students' coursework, providing a safe, controlled environment where aspiring healthcare professionals can make a real-time decision for their simulated patients. Through this immersive technology, students interact with virtual patients, conduct examinations, and perform clinical procedures using specialized headsets. Valparaiso University Dean of Nursing and Health Professions Elizabeth Mitter is at the forefront of this innovation, integrating VR medical tools across the nursing curriculum.
It's just another form of experiential learning that I think sets us ahead of the curve. VR is relatively new in the educational space, and it's a complement to the classroom learning, the experiential learning out in the field.
I'm Josie Mikert with CPTV News.
Course scheduling for the 2026-2027 school year is about to begin, and CPHS is adding new course options for students. New offerings include AP Pre-Calculus, AP 3D Art, and a theater production class. The AP courses are similar to current classes, but come with the chance for college credit and a GPA boost. Meanwhile, theater production will give students hands-on experience producing a play or musical from start to finish. Scheduling begins next week for incoming seniors, followed by juniors and sophomores. Students are encouraged to check prerequisites to see which new classes are right for them. I guess this is the weather we're expecting this time of year, right? But wow, has it been cold. Here to tell us if we can expect more of the same is Bella Angarone with our 5-day weather forecast.
Yes, it's been very cold lately, and I don't expect temperatures to climb too much over the next few days. In fact, we're probably looking at more snow over the weekend. More on that in a minute. But first, it's mostly cloudy out there right now and a chilly 12 degrees. Winds coming out of the north-northwest around 15 miles per hour. And as we look at the 5-day forecast, on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, again with a high of 20 and the low dipping back down into the single digits. Overnight Friday into Saturday, because those winds are coming straight down the lake out of the north, we will have a good chance for lake effect snow late into Saturday morning, somewhere around 4 to 6 inches. And then Sunday will fool us a little as the sun comes out. Fair skies, highs creeping up toward 30 degrees. We'll hang right around there on Monday, mid-20s and partly sunny skies to start the school week. That's your 5-day weather forecast. Ariana, Rana.
Thanks, Bella. Lots going on in CP Sports this weekend as a number of Crown Point teams are in the middle of undefeated seasons. Here with sports, it's Gabe Trevino.
The CP boys basketball team hosted the Chesterton Trojans on Friday with their undefeated season on the line. The Bulldogs got off to a hot start, outscoring the Trojans 16-7 in the first quarter behind monster slams by the Dogs senior forward Dikembe Shaw and sophomore guard MJ Wilson. The Bulldogs really got rolling in the second quarter, adding another 27 points and making it 43-27 at halftime. CP never looked back, holding the lead the entire way behind Dikembe Shaw's 33-point night.
The community itself kind of lit a flame under us. We've seen how many people were here on a snowy day, icy day, a cold day, and we just felt the energy in the room, and that's huge thanks to the community. It gave us all a great boost.
Bulldogs win big, 84-62. CP girls basketball team also faced Chesterton in Friday nights back-to-back. A tight game at the start, with Chesterton leading 9-8 after one quarter. The Lady Bulldogs were able to get the ball inside to junior Ivy Henderson, and the team started hitting shots to go on a 14-4 run to make it 22-13 at halftime. Although CP ended up holding the lead for the rest of the game, behind Sydney Hale's 12 points and 4 rebounds. It took the Dogs a while to figure things out and pull away.
We haven't seen that defense all year. We haven't seen a box and one. We haven't seen a triangle and two. And I think it took us a while to understand that some of the other players were going to get open. And now what do I do? And I think once they got comfortable with it, the shots went in. But they played hard defensively the whole game.
Lady Bulldogs finished conference play with a 47-35 win and now face Hanover Central next Thursday. The CP swim and dive teams traveled to Lake Central Tuesday night for a conference meet. Juniors Lucas Barnes, Angel Carranza, and Abel Gell, along with senior Carter Trappier, led the way for the Bulldogs, winning the 200 medley relay to open the meet.
One day at a time, one meet at a time, one practice. It's just every day is one more day that we can get better, one more day that everyone else is getting better too. So we have to take advantage of every chance that we get, try and get better.
The boys will continue their domination, winning all but one race on the night.
We're confident in each other, we're confident in each other's abilities. We got to keep trusting the process. We know we have trust in our coach, and I think we do have a real good shot.
The Lady Bulldogs did not miss a beat either. Senior diver and Bowling Green commit Caitlin Flellen helped the girls score a 13 in dives. Seniors Addison Beatty and Morgan Cicero also led the way for the Lady Bulldogs. With this win, CP boys remain undefeated with a score of 115-71, and the girls topped the Indians 113-70. On Wednesday night, the Bulldogs rode into Valparaiso determined to keep their perfect season alive, entering the meet with an 11-0 record. The energy was high as the Bulldogs hit the mats. The action started with freshman 106-pounder Gavin Zabetis setting the tone early with a pin, followed by 113-pound Javier Salas' win by technical fall, giving the Bulldogs an early lead. The momentum shifted briefly as CP dropped the next 3 matches, allowing Valpo to close the gap. However, the turning point came at 190 pounds, where Calvin Stewart pulled off an upset win over Ben Fedorchek.
As a team, this was a really great win for us. We brought our JV team. As you see, we got the job done. We got our dogs with us. Cohesiveness, man. We won it.
Stewart's victory reignited Crown Point and sparked a run of strong performances in the upper weights. With the team rallying behind Stewart's win, the Bulldogs closed out the duel in convincing fashion, sealing a season-ending 47-24 win over the Vikings. The win capped off a 6th consecutive undefeated regular season for CP, who now heads to sectionals. And that's it for sports.
Thanks, Gabe. Students in CPHS's Precision Machining program are getting a major upgrade thanks to an $86,000 Perkins Reserve grant starting the 26-27 school year. The grant will help provide students hands-on access to industry-grade equipment used in modern manufacturing. With digital readouts, updated curriculum through Vincennes University and Tooling U, students can earn up to 11 dual credits and industry certifications before graduation. And with more than 34,000 machinist jobs opening projected each year, CPHS students are training for careers which exist right here in Northwest Indiana.
So this grant is going to allow us to get 2 new pieces of equipment. We're going to get a new, more modern engine lathe, as well as another new milling machine, which is going to add an additional milling station for the students to use, and is going to give us a more modern lathe that is the same type of equipment that students would see in industry today.
Though attendance remains below pre-pandemic levels, movie theaters are seeing steady gradual gains in ticket sales. Here's CPTV's Rico Artister with more.
Moviegoers are streaming in once again. After years of empty auditoriums and delayed releases, theaters nationwide are reporting attendance levels comparable to 2019. With IMAX, 3D screening, and luxury seating, audiences are returning for the full cinematic experience, something streaming services can't replicate. Analysts point to blockbuster releases and premium experiences such as large format screens and upgraded seating as key drivers of recent gains. At the same time, streaming platforms continue to reshape viewing habits, limiting how quickly theaters can recover. While box office revenue has improved compared with recent years, ticket sales remain well below 2019 levels. Industry groups describe the trend as incremental rather than a full rebound.
It's like a different experience you're feeling, especially for like the certain movie theaters that have 4D. Like the 4D with the chair shaking everything, like that's just amazing.
With more cinematic releases planned this year, theaters are expected to remain busy. For now, it's clear that the movie-going experience is back and audiences are showing up. Reporting from AMC Theaters, Rico Artister, CPTV News.
That's it for today's show. Thanks for taking the time to tune in and for being with us.
Remember, you can view all of our past episodes on crowntownmedia.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at CrownTMedia.
For Gabe Trevino, Bella Angarone, and all of us here at CPTV, I'm Ariana Pantoja.
And I'm Rana Stevens.
Take care.